Hello, everyone. Welcome.
Welcome back, even.
Yes.
Hopefully you are
Yes.
back and you've joined us before.
Hmm.
If you haven't, I'm Mari-Lyn.
I'm Pam. We
And
are the conscious spirit.
we are.
Yes.
We
Yes.
are.
And we, depending on where you're listening to this just came when we said the conscious spirit. Unfortunately, when we started way back, well, I guess we've only had that paranormal channel on YouTube for about a year and a half. That's not way back. But when we started,
That's not, I thought you were going.
oh, I know. That's why I decided I better make that clear, right? The conscious spirit, someone already had that name, so we couldn't use it. It's like, son of a gun. But we have been called everyday psychics. Oh, you're everyday psychics. And so that's when we went, oh, well, okay, that's our name, TCS, Everyday Psychics.
Yep.
So anyway, I'm not sure why I went in this direction, but someone must need to hear this. We actually had someone say that they couldn't find our channel on YouTube, our podcast channel. It's the Conscious Spirit Podcast.
Yes.
So you have to have, that's the TCS, the Conscious
have
Spirit.
the
Yes. And then TCS Everyday Psych. So it's both those things. So join us there for meditations that at least we at least do one every Sunday, and then sometimes I'll post another one. But anyway, we're doing a podcast.
They're fabulous. They're
you.
healing and they're enlightening, and they can bring clarity.
Yes.
Healing.
Yeah. They're fabulous. They are. So what I wanted to talk about today, before I think we're going to have you open space, right?
Okay. Yes, I can.
I
can do that.
Yes. But what we wanted to talk about today, because it's been coming up a lot, I think, is how we live in the past and how that really keeps us from moving forward and building a future. And we do it and we don't even realize we're doing it. So exactly. I think that's where we were going to go today. So, but
yeah,
for those of you who have no, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's a really important topic, because like you said, we don't even realize sometimes that we are living in the past, and there's no way to create a future when we're stuck back in wow land.
Yes. And that can come from just complaining all the time, from gossiping, that kind of materialism, even
resentment.
There's a lot when we're just so focused on our 3D life. We're missing we're missing the more important journey that we're on, and that is that spiritual journey, to be that conscious spirit. So for those of you who have not been here before, what we do is we used to open space prior to getting on and doing the podcast, and then it was just a few weeks ago we thought, you know what, we need to do that while we're online so everyone can join in with us, and we've got great feedback from that.
We have. I'm not surprised either, because it changes the energy of it.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. And it by opening space and creating that open space for everybody that's listening, it really helps make those that are listening like an active participant.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
I think so anyways. Yeah.
Yes. Because what happens when we open sacred space is that spirit starts talking to you. And so whatever we say, you either triggers another thought that spirit wants you to look into or know about, etc., or just gives you a deeper meaning for you personally, what we're talking about. And that's really what this podcast is about, is bringing in the personal aspect for everyone. And we get, really honest about who we are and the crap we go through and what we've done to move past it and etc. So we hope that you all feel that and know that and really know that it's spirit speaking through us for you to get some insight that you need and clarity, healing, etc. Okay, I think we need to open space.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Oh,
hold on. If you're driving, please be careful,
ooh,
or doing anything. I know, usually you're the one that remembers driving or doing anything that you really need to be paying attention to. Please just kind of listen to this, but don't really get into it. Allow yourself to ground. That part is good.
yes,
But just
yes.
be careful wherever you are during this opening. Be aware of your surroundings.
If you're holding a sharp knife, put it down, please.
Yes. Yes, please.
Operating a forklift, just stop.
Yeah. Driving a car.
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Spirit, I ask to open this sacred circle between Pam and myself and everyone who is listening, whenever they are listening. We invite this sacred circle of high vibration, the vibration of love and above. I ask that everyone, including Pam and myself, that we all be grounded deep into the earth, that our energy is running freely between the center of the earth and that spark of our higher self that resides at source, that we are all open to receiving the messaging that we need to receive today. And I ask for myself, and I ask for Pam as well, that we hear clearly what we need to be saying.
Yes.
To this audience today.
Yes.
So full of gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you, Mari-Lyn. I first want to start with something that came through is there are people listening today who are going through a really hard time. And we want you to know that you're going to be okay. To breathe, to have faith that spirit has you and spirit loves you and supports you. And your fear is making your situation greater than it needs to be. Your fear is absolutely greater than the situation. And at least one person right now is screaming at me that that's not true, that there's real danger there, etc. And I hear you. And I appreciate your situation. And there's no better time than to trust in spirit. No better.
Absolutely.
And if you can allow yourself to ground and open to spirit, that will really help release that fear. And you're going to be okay. You will know what to do when you need to do it if you're moving with spirit, as you're guided through the situation with spirit, and not allow your ego to take over. Yes.
As you were talking about the first time you said you are going to be okay, I could feel the hair on my arms. It's standing straight up. I have goosebumps. I want to add that what was coming, the energies of the universe right now are contributing to that feeling of fear being stronger.
Yes.
And oftentimes when we are aware of that external force, we can allow ourselves to relax a little bit.
Yes.
Knowing that it's not all as bad as I think it is. It's being exasperated by the energies of the universe right now, because they are
getting
getting better.
Yes. But every year, August of every year is a huge month. It is a roller coaster. You know, when August comes, you need to buckle up with 2 seatbelts.
Helmet on.
Put your helmet on. Yes, and it's all for our highest good. It is all to shake the tree.
Yep.
Shake loose what doesn't need to be there. Shaking loose the fear, shaking loose the doubt, shaking loose old patterns and old ways of thinking.
Shaking loose the past.
Shaking loose the past. Yes. Which is perfect to walk right into what we want to talk about today.
Absolutely.
And that's probably the why, because you and I, okay, especially you, I'm going to call you out on that. Woo!
I own it.
Been in it. Holy moly, since really probably the middle of July. Or toward the end of July anyway. It's when these energies really started, you started to get rocked and, you know.
Yep. I had one of those life altering realizations of a perspective that I had.
Yeah.
And talk about getting rocked. Holy
smokes.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you realize that the way you've looked at something most of your life is not based on reality.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It's shocking. It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's shameful for me.
Right. Well, and those are even old patterns that come up, the shame and the guilt and the embarrassment. That's usually where I go, is to the embarrassment. And that's all part of it. That's all part of letting go and letting go. It's almost as if our body is working against us healing. Because, okay, they touched on that. Now, bitch, I'm coming at you with some guilt or some shame or some embarrassment or all the above.
All the above.
So you shut it down and I can stay in that comfort zone. So it really shakes it. That's all. And it's all part of it. And
it is. But these things have to come up so we can work through it and let go of it.
Because we have that lesson. There's a lesson in it that we have to learn. And some wisdom.
Always wisdom to be gained, because there's very few things that can be healed and let go of without us, realizing it. But that's not something we're doing on our own anyway.
Right. Yeah.
This stuff, it's got to come up. We've got to feel it. We've got to see it. We've got to recognize it, and all of those other steps that come to be able to let go of it, so we can stop that habit of living in that old thought pattern, which is exactly what mine was. It was
absolutely, yes.
It was a way of thinking that was so, oh my goodness, not based in reality.
Well, because what happens is when we're children, we don't have reasoning, but our reasoning is extremely limited. And really up until like age 7, it's all feeling. There is no reasoning at all. And then even at 7 years old, we're just learning how to be human. We're just learning that we have this brain and we have control over what's going on and we can think about things. And even our frontal lobe, which is cause and effect, that doesn't even fully function until we're in our mid-20s. So, and that's when most of our wounding happens, right? Is between 0 and most of it is between like 0 and 10, I would say. And another chunk between like 10 and 20, maybe, and then and I'm not even, that's just sort of a guesstimation, really. But really, most of everything is from a very young, under 7, I would say, is most of it.
Most of our wounding happens because we cannot comprehend cause and effect.
Yes. Yes. I just want to go, yes, amen. Yes.
Because if we could,
Yeah.
We could make sense of so much
Yes.
more. We could make sense of uncomfortable situations,
Yes.
but we could make sense of punishment.
Yes. Yes.
And I did not know this until, I don't know, I'm going to say in the last 10 years maybe of my life. So children do not understand punishment.
No. No. Not at all. No.
Mm-mm.
How do you just don't understand? Go to your room and think about what you did. Or or the shame. My mother was big on the how dare you do that? And I'm like, what did I like? I don't know what I just did. Like as a kid, you're just, especially till age 7, and
Yep.
here's something, I'm going to throw a truth bomb out there that some people are whatever. Children are not manipulative. They do not have the brain power to actually be a manipulator. They are trying to get their needs met.
Yes.
That's what they're doing. They're not seeing it at, because a manipulator says, I'm going to get you to bend to my will. So I'm going to play all these tricks and I'm going to say what you think, whatever you need to hear, there's a lot that goes into manipulation. A lot.
It's
Kids
very
don't have that brain
convoluted.
power. They
No,
don't.
you're right.
They just
They're
know.
just trying to get their needs met.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You said, go to your room and think about what you've done.
Yeah.
Me.
Yes.
I was sent to my room, think about what you've done. And so I go to my room and I'm thinking about what I did. Well, what I did made my mom mad. I must be bad.
Yes.
I'm bad.
Kids always take that stuff personal. Always. You always, what else do you know? You are just in feeling. You don't know anything else. Your world does not consist really of anyone else other than, mom comforts me, or dad, whatever, that comfort, the food, the basic needs. You don't know anything else. And children are so easily manipulated. They're a clean slate. And parents, siblings, mostly it's the parents and siblings, teachers, community, all of that. But we can paint on the child's canvas and they take it for gospel.
Yes. And I want to say that type of manipulation is even different still from that conscious, convoluted, I'm going to do this to manipulate you.
As my mother did. My mother was that master manipulator. She was the one. Yes. Yes. There's
not all parents are that calculated.
No. A lot of them are just wounded themselves. They're unhealed and they're just trying to get their needs met.
Right. And yet it's still a manipulation.
Yes.
So it's such a
because who's the adult in the room here?
Confusing thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be an adult in the room, and it can't be the 5-year-old. I'm sorry, but it's just not. So things happen.
When the adult, I don't know if, but when the adult is in the wounding that puts them at a 5-year-old.
Yes. They're a 5-year-old. They're a 5-year-old themselves.
Yes. So then who's the adult in the room?
Yes, there isn't one.
There isn't one. And boy, that's scary.
Very scary.
That's tragic. That can lead to so many tragic things and more wounding for everybody.
For everyone. Yes. Mm-hmm. So even today, however old you are when you're listening to this podcast, there are wounds within you that when triggered, you become the age that the trauma happened, the wounding happened. 3 years old, 4 years old, 5, 7. Like what happens is we put that piece away. We make that contract. I'm never going to do that again. Or whatever it is that you say to because you never want that pain to come again. You have very, very limited access to brain power and reasoning. So you twist and turn it to fit the situation, to fit your life, to fit the lack of brain power that you have at the time. And you stop in that one particular vein, you stop growing right then. And you create this way of thinking, this convoluted thinking that just continues on your entire life to wherever you are right now, whatever that so I'm in my mid 50s. If I get triggered with something that I haven't healed, I'm 5 years old again, trying to work out a situation from an adult woman, but from the time but as a child at 5 years old. I hope that makes sense to everyone. But that's what trauma does. That's what wounding does.
Super sense to me, and actually brought me some clarity. Because as you were thinking, I'm like, okay, so an incident that just happened to me earlier today, where I lost something. I'm like, well, how old was I in that fear of, I don't want to move?
Oh, interesting. Yes.
And
because if I move, it's going to fall on the floor. It's going to get lost. It's going to something. Is that where you're going?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. It'll be gone forever. It's my fault. I've done something wrong.
Yeah.
So to bring clarity for what I'm talking about, Pam and I went out for breakfast this morning, and I looked down at my wedding ring and my main diamond was gone.
Yes. Yes. You absolutely froze.
I did. Froze. I could not move. I couldn't think. I couldn't do anything. No. Now, at that moment, I wasn't thinking, oh, I'm in wounding and I can't move because I'm being triggered. No. I'm just like, I'm afraid to move because if it's in my lap, I don't want to lose it.
Yes. And we're at a restaurant. We're at a public place here.
Yes. Yeah. Diamond was discovered.
Okay, so I want to talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
So Mari-Lyn is in. So I said, well, where was the last place you were like putting your hand? Were you in your wallet? Were you in your bag? What was it? So she was sort of looking in those areas, within her handbag and everything. And I got my phone, I put the light on, and I was kind of moving around everywhere, on the table, under the table, because, a diamond will shine. Absolutely. And it's like, okay, it isn't anywhere. I'll let you.
It was nowhere.
Nowhere. We looked everywhere. And so we started thinking, okay, maybe it's in the car. Maybe when we get up, it'll drop or something.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm thinking of all the places that it could be. And I just went, okay, it's going to be what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And I look over, and on the table, to my right is this dot.
Yes.
And I'm like, oh.
Yes. Is that it? And
is that what I said? I don't even remember.
Yes. And
I very carefully moved it to where it was in between Pam and myself. And I'm like, oh my God.
Yes. And it was literally, so it was on her left hand. It ended up way over on her right side.
Yep.
And I looked over the entire table, under the table, it was not there. Mm-mm. It was not there. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. What an amazing, that was just, how many of you have had that happen where the other day that happened with my drum, and that's a big item.
Do you remember when it happened with your keys a couple of weeks ago?
Oh, Yes. Okay, but that was a little boy that got in the way. That one? Are you talking about when Vinny threw him over the neighbor's fence?
No, when they were in your pocket.
Oh, okay.
You needed your keys so you could go for a walk and you couldn't find them.
Couldn't find them. Oh, that was crazy. I thought you were talking about when my grandson,
Threw him over the
he's
fence.
only a year and a half. He just got a hold of grandma's keys and he throws everything over the fence to the neighbor's yard. I think he loves the neighbor. He likes when she comes and talks to him. So I think,
Sure.
and then she comes and she picks it up and hands it back to him. So I think that's what he was doing. But yes, I got myself ready to go for a walk like I do most mornings. And there's a set of keys that we use just for that. So you don't have to get your car keys and everything. And I couldn't find them anywhere. They were nowhere to be found. And I thought, okay, well, we must have just left them somewhere. Like maybe I put them in my pants from the other day and left them there, or my husband, who knows? I mean, all sorts of, don't know. So
Sure.
I used a different key, went for my walk, came back, sat down. They were in my pocket. And I had checked every pocket 3 times before. Like, it was wild.
Yeah.
These are messages from spirit, y'all. Like, people ask us
Absolutely.
all the time, well, how do I know if spirit's talking? People always, and including myself, so I'm not like, targeting anyone or whatever. We all want to hear messages. Like, just have someone whisper in your, hey, I'm here. Hey, don't forget to have faith and trust, whatever. That's rarely the way these messages come. They come in a really profound 3D version of that. And that's what this was. It was amazing. And so those are messages, people. For all of you who want to just like kind of blow that off as some weird thing that happened. No, that was spirit.
No, it's spirit.
Yeah, I checked those pockets many times. It was nowhere. Your diamond was not on that table, God damn it.
No.
I checked. As did you. I mean, it was right next to you.
I mean, there is no way it would have been there for however long.
Yeah, no.
That whole scenario took. There's no way it had just been sitting there and I overlooked it.
Yes. Thank you, Spirit.
And
if I'm going to say this too, if you're going through something at the time, that's often a message. So to think about what the message was, Mari-Lyn and I sat and said, okay, what is, and I'm not going to say it, but it's part of what she's been going through this past month. I mean, it's just part of that. And to think about that, it was a really clear, it was the exclamation point on the end of that sentence. Yes.
And it was it was a multi-part sentence too.
Yes. Yes.
There might have been a colon or a semicolon, a couple of commas in there.
Okay, how about instead of a sentence, it was the end of the paragraph.
It might have been a paragraph. Might have been a paragraph.
And those are all messages to us. Those are messages to us. And they're beautiful messages. So to allow yourself to believe that, what else would it be? How else could that be anything other than a spirit message? That diamond was not there. That key was not in my pocket. It was just crazy.
I don't know how it could be anything but that.
Yeah, it can't be.
And
that's another part of what we're talking about today. Living enough in the present to see those signs and to see them for what they are. To really allow yourself a moment to just be in spirit and just trust. To believe and trust.
Yeah. Now, had I still been living in the past, like I, like the old me did,
yes,
I would have freaked out. I mean, physically, I would have been over dramatic. I would have been overly chaotic.
Yeah.
Any chance of finding that diamond, spirit or not, there's no way I would have seen it. I would have been too disruptive
Yes.
to any energies at all.
And that's
for any
another
messaging.
thing I have to point out. You found it, not me. That's a big part of this. You found it. I did not.
Mhm.
Spirit wouldn't let me see it.
I saw the sign.
There's a song. There's always a song.
There's always a song. Always a song. Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
So yes, those spirit messages. And when we, part of the messaging always, it could be, there's always a specific message to whatever it is you're in at the moment. But there is another part of that message is be present, be here now.
Absolutely.
Look to the future. When we, are all stuck in the past, we can't build our future. We can't look forward other than in that sort of a material way.
Right.
But it's really that spiritual journey. Yeah.
And it's important to be present.
Yeah.
And looking towards the future.
Yes.
Not living in the future.
Yes. There is
because
yes. Let's clarify that.
Living in the future is just more false reality. It's fantasy land.
Yes. Magical thinking.
Very magical thinking.
Yeah.
Living in the future is, it's equally as disruptive as living in the past.
Yes. Yes, it is.
And we need to be present and focused in today.
You know what just came when you were saying that is when we focus too much on the future, what that's doing is trying to build us up to feel better about ourselves. Because I'm going to have this in the future, and I'm going to be this in the future, and this is what it's going to look like in the future. And it's always better than where we are today, right?
Right. Well,
I mean, when we're dreaming, when we're when we're and so we're trying to find that worth, and it's not going to work if we're way out there.
No, because if we're doing that, then we're bypassing what it is that we need to learn and grow and expand into, so we can reach that.
Yes.
If we're future tripping, if we're living in the future, there's no way
future tripping.
Prepare ourselves to actually live in the future when it comes.
Yes.
Because when that future time comes, we're not going to be happy, and we're going to be looking at the next step. We're never going to be able to appreciate when that future time comes, regardless of good, bad, or indifferent. We're not going to see it because we're always looking to what's ahead.
Yes. And we need to be here and present. That is, when we talk about all the time about being grounded and being present. That's part of being human. I mean, we have to human, but to really understand the past, to really build for the future, we have to be present. Now, there's also, I've known people, oh, I don't want to look at the past. I don't need to look there because it's too scary, and so many bad things happen. So I don't want to look there. No, it's all about being here and looking to the future and what can I build, or what can I, whatever. You know what? You do have to look at the past as far as clean up. You have to clear it out. You have to heal it. You can't move forward until you heal it.
Yeah. We will repeat it.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
So you have to do it, but it's that dwelling in it and that sometimes looks like gossip. It looks like every time you get with a friend or coworker or whatever, all you do is talk about the things that have already happened. addictions, materialism, all sorts of, those are all past experiences sort of manifesting today. And those are things to heal. When you can, Mari-Lyn and I get to, obviously we talk every day, but we get together and we talk about these. We talk about what's going on presently in our life. And we talk about where we want to be and what are our hopes and our dreams and our intentions. Those are things that we discuss.
Absolutely.
There was a time when I look back, it's like, wow, I never did that. I may have had magical thinking, oh, someday I'd like to, I don't know, whatever.
I never thought about it, but no, I don't know that there's anyone I've ever talked about what are my future dreams, not including my husband. Of course, my husband and I talk about the future.
Aside from him,
but
yes.
But no, I can't.
You know why we're told that it's bragging? Don't you think? Like people look at you like, oh, look at her brag, or it's not there. We kind of looked at like it's a bad thing. How can it be a bad thing to say, oh boy, someday I want to be strong enough to be able to walk in that place and feel comfortable? Or I want this gift to unfold into something where I'm helping more people. Or,
happiness makes people uncomfortable. Yes. Dreams make people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And it was your last, I think it was meditation number 5, Fred's Meds number 5. I listened to that and I realized that I had kind of buried away the thought of happiness because it made people uncomfortable.
Yes.
And it's true.
Oh
my gosh.
Yes. And whether that happiness is you're just putting on a happy face at the moment, or if it's very genuine, it doesn't matter. People don't like happy.
People do not like happy. It threatens them.
Yes.
And I'm here to tell you, people, spread the happy.
Yes.
Because the only threatening thing in life is ego.
Yes.
Whether it's your own ego or someone else's ego, when it runs amok, that is true threatening.
You know what just came to me when you were saying it threatens people and whatever? What flashed in my mind is how many, and you know them as well, single women do we know? And they are happy. They're not looking for a mate. They're not looking for, they are happy. Mm-hmm. And every one of them will tell you, my friends who are in a partnership always want to set me up. And I tell them, no, it makes people so uncomfortable that, and it's not what just came now is it's not necessarily that they're single. They're happy. They're actually happy being single. Yep. I am fine with my life. Back the F off. I am fine. We have a neighbor behind us. She's an older woman. She's a widower. She is happy as can be. I don't know if I know a happier woman than her. She doesn't have that pesky husband bothering her. She does her garden. She's out in the yard all the time. She comes and goes as she pleases. She is genuinely happy. Genuinely. And you know damn well her friends are trying to set her up with somebody. You know they are. You know they're so uncomfortable with her being happy. Yes. Cracks me up.
Happiness is so threatening.
Yes. And we also don't need a partner. No, this is not a solo journey, but that doesn't mean a coupling. That means friendships, connections in your life. we all need connection,
Mm-hmm.
but that doesn't mean that type of partner. You know, a coupling type thing, a love
There's,
affair,
yeah,
whatever. It doesn't.
there's this unspoken law that you are to grow up, you are to get married, you are to have a family.
You already have children. Yes.
And that's just, there's no law.
No.
The shaming that my husband and I got when we
Oh,
made the decision, it was a conscious decision not to have children.
yes.
And we were open with it with our families because we didn't want the, when are you going to have kids? When,
Yeah. When are you having my grandchildren? When are you having my nieces and nephews? Right.
So we were open and honest, and oh my gosh.
Yeah.
The majority of both families were like, what are you doing? You're going to regret this.
Oh.
And I was so saddened that there wasn't more consideration about our feelings.
Yes.
There wasn't consideration about why we made the choice.
Yes.
You know, and I'll be honest, part of the reason we made the choice was because we were active people.
Yes.
And holy smokes, the things that we were, the activities that we were involved in, they were adult. They were not places
like skydiving.
Like skydiving. And there were people that had their children there that grew up in that. And I loved those children. They were amazing. Sure. But for my husband and myself,
that's not what you wanted.
We did not want that. Okay, no. I'm going to say it. We did not want that distraction.
No. But how beautiful that you can say that. And that's okay. That's more than okay. How many people do we all know that have that title of mother, and you think, oh dear God, you should never have birthed children? You know what I'm saying? Like, if more women would just be honest, more men would be honest, more just have that conversation, and like, we don't have to have children, so let's not even try for that. Mm-hmm. You know, like, it's just, yeah. But and you can be perfectly happy. Some people are just so, I think you make them uncomfortable. They don't know what to say.
Yes. Choosing happiness.
Yes.
And you know, I've had some struggles around that throughout my life.
Sure.
But there's also extenuating reasons why I had some of those struggles.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, you know, just part of some of the lessons I needed to learn, part of my healing.
Yes.
Boy, though, if people could choose happiness over society's.
Yes.
Okay, I don't know why this word's coming. Society's napkin.
Sorry. Yes.
Yeah.
That actually makes sense. Right. Yes.
Yeah. It's, yeah. Okay. I went on a little tangent there, but that's okay.
That's okay.
I don't do that very often.
That's okay. Yes. And I know I'm usually the one that does. But happiness comes in all different packages.
Oh my gosh.
And you know what, everyone? Just mind your own. Just mind your own business on all of this.
Stay in your own lane. Stay in your own
lane. Happiness looks different for everyone. Get used to it.
If you are uncomfortable over someone else's happiness, I invite you to look in.
To go look in a mirror.
Look inward and ask yourself why.
Yes.
Why does their happiness make me so uncomfortable?
Yes.
It's probably you don't understand it, and it's easier to just be.
And you know what I can hear right now? But they're not happy. They're unhappy. That's what I'm hearing right now. Well, no, she doesn't have a partner. She's so unhappy. She, you know, whatever. None of your business. And that's your shit, not
Yep.
theirs.
If
And
you're
there are
uncomfortable
people who
because
are,
it doesn't fit your
yes,
brand of happiness,
yes,
well then close the curtains.
yeah. Buy a different brand, honey, because the people are just fine. And of course, there are those single people who want a partner and are not in a relationship. That's their path. That's their journey. You still need to back off and support them. That's still, we could all, every single person who's listening knows damn well you could have a partner tomorrow. Everybody could. You go to any old bar around town and you know what I mean? It's like you can find a partner. Everyone can, but you choose. Okay, Mari-Lyn's out of that one. You can go to the bowling alley and you can find a partner.
Hey,
but you're being choosy and you should be.
Yes, because your verbiage of partner is not what I consider a partner.
Right.
Just going down to the neighborhood freaking bar, getting drunk and going, oh,
right.
Partner now. Oh, that is not a partner.
It's not. But if you're looking just to have someone there in your bed with you, living in your house.
That's exactly what that is. Someone there in your bed with you. Yeah.
Yes. You can find that. Everyone can.
Yeah.
It's not going to be healthy. It's not going to be the one. So bravo to those of you who people say, oh, you're so picky. Well, you know what? It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Rather that than being in some abusive or just loveless relationship or just a relationship to be in a relationship is not.
Getting a hold of a narcissist.
Oh, yeah. Oh, narcissists love those kind of people.
Drunk. I mean, you know, I was once one, so I'm allowed to say that.
You were once what?
A codependent drunk.
Oh.
But bravo to those people who are being picky because they want a partner. They want a true partner in life. Partner.
Yes.
That takes effort.
Yep.
It takes self-awareness. It takes growth and expansion and the willingness to, I was going to say the willingness to compromise, but that's not really what I mean.
There's a space there where you just get to work on yourself. You get to work on you.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. And here's something for whoever needs to hear it. If you're a single person, to meet that person that you're dreaming of, you have to be the person that they want to.
Yes.
You have to be. So you take that time to heal, to grow, to learn all of those things that you need to grow into the person that's going to catch that person's eye.
Yes.
Because we see that happening. Well, I want, you know, it's like, so that person that you're saying you want, I'm sorry, but is not going to look at you. I'm sorry, but they're not. You have so much work to do on you. And then to be open really to whomever comes, because sometimes they come in different packages than you expect them to come in.
So the story of Cinderella is coming to me.
Oh, okay.
And I think somebody out there needs to really understand this, that you have your sights set on this personality type, or, you know, there's something that you want.
Something, this idyllic thing.
Yes.
Person.
And like Pam was saying, you need to be at that vibration.
Yeah.
Somebody needs to know that does not mean your job.
Yes.
That does not mean your job, your lack of a job.
Yes.
What you do isn't important. It's who you are.
Yes.
Cinderella had the worst job of all.
Yes.
She was kind and loving And yeah, okay, maybe a little codependent, but
with the mice, but
but she was compassionate.
yes,
She was the vibration
yes,
she was looking for.
yes.
She didn't even know she was
Beautiful.
looking for it. But it's her. She was the vibration, not her job.
And her stepsisters were as ugly on the inside as they were on the outside, and they were
Yes.
not going to catch anyone.
No.
They were not going
And
to
they
find that.
didn't. No.
No, the prince was
No.
not coming to their door for sure.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Ooh.
And the prince clearly was at that vibration personally,
Yes,
or he wouldn't have accepted her when he found her, right?
yes.
So it's just the fact that he was a prince had
Yeah.
nothing to do with it. It's
No.
the personal vibration.
And people
So
do get themselves into trouble that way. Well, I want someone that has this job or wears this type of clothes or drives this type of car
right.
or whatever. Well, you know what and I'm sorry to anyone who, if any of you out there own a Porsche, I apologize for this joke, but it's really not about the car. But the difference between a porcupine and a Porsche, with a porcupine, the pricks on the outside. So be careful of that materialism of only wanting someone because they have certain things. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Okay. Janis Joplin is in my head now.
Oh, love Janis. What is she
friends
singing?
all drive Porsches. I must make amends.
Oh, yes. Mercedes Benz.
Yes.
Oh.
Used to, my husband bought me a Mercedes once upon a time.
Oh, I did
It
not.
was old and it was brilliant and it was a heap of junk. But it was a Mercedes and I
Yes.
didn't care.
Yep.
And me and Janice put a lot of miles on that car. That was, yeah. So
Janice
anyway.
Janice, Creedence Clearwater, those are like that's driving music.
Oh yeah.
Like that's what you put in when you're going to be, especially if it's a long drive, there are certain artists that's what you want to be listening to, because you can listen to the whole album all the way through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so funny. Yeah. We used to do Creedence when we would take a long drive or whatever. But anyway.
Yep, got them too.
But Janice is awesome. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Was awesome. I guess her music lives on. But anyway,
I'm gonna say she's still awesome.
Absolutely.
Because
absolutely.
Her soul lives on too.
Absolutely. It does. And I hope she's still singing, and she is. Whatever, whoever that spirit is that came in to be Janice, Janice is still a part of her. Yes. Entertaining and being fabulous. And that was one of those, that was absolute. I think she's part of that 27 club, right? The entertainers that all died at 27, I think.
Oh, okay.
Part of it. But there was a reason that they
young.
Such a short.
She was.
Yeah,
young.
That short life though. They came in a blaze of glory and went out the same way. And that's purposeful. Like I don't think those people have like 5 exit points. I think they have one. They're coming in and they're leaving early, and they're going to make a huge splash. And sometimes that's just for a family or for a community or the world, like her. But we hear of those people, we hear of that happening. You know, why did they have to go so young? And that's so painful for the living people.
Oh, I know it.
But they came, as you know.
I know it.
But he came in to make a difference.
Man, the impact.
Yes. Yep.
The impact that those souls make.
Yeah.
It's immeasurable.
Yes, agreed.
It really is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Those beautiful souls. Whew. I don't even know. Did we really even talk about our topic? We talked a little bit about the topic today.
We have. I mean, right?
I think so.
Living in the past. We can't live in the past.
Right.
and build our future.
Correct.
And yes, we
Now,
did
what
talk
we
about
just
it.
did, now here's, there's someone out there saying, you guys were just talking about your past for 20 minutes. Smart ass, whoever you are. And touche. Touche, pussycat. Story,
Oh,
giving a story as an example. If that story is to, like, you never want to forget, and you want to help, you want those stories to help fling you forward to, because we don't want to forget where we've come from. We need humility, and we need that's called experience a lot of the times.
yes.
Like, I have wisdom and experience from going through that, and we tell those stories as a way to bring light to a situation, or to say, you know what, we're not just sitting here preaching at people. We've been through it.
Yeah. And there is a difference between visiting the past
Yes.
and living in the past.
Yes.
Living in the past.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's detrimental.
Very detrimental.
Visiting it, like you said, in a story form, in
as a cautionary tale, even.
Yes.
Sometimes.
Yeah. And sometimes it really can catapult us into future thinking. It can catapult us into problem solving. Sorry. Problem solving. If we're visiting something in the past and we're just ruminating in it.
Yes.
Wallowing in it. Bitching about it.
Yes.
Then we're not doing anybody any favors, especially ourselves.
No.
But if we can talk about something and discuss something and it sparks a solution.
Yes.
Whether it's related or not.
Yes.
Solutions are forward thinking.
And not in a material 3D way, but to look back and remember who I was then, and seeing all the growth that I've been through, all the growth that I suffered through, and to where I am now. When you can look back with such gratitude and reverence for your journey.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't live back there. There's still a few things that I'm still working on healing. Sure. I mean, there is no, until we are up in spirit in those higher realms, we are not perfect. Whatever any of you think perfect is, not happening here on the planet.
No, and we're never done healing. We're never done healing.
Damn it. No.
So I think it was like when we first got started and you were talking about living in the past, but not even realizing it.
Yeah.
So it was very recent. I woke up. I was just like, I'm still laying in bed and I'm like, literally like in my brain, I'm like, and I'm started talking to spirit and I said, what is going on with me? Why am I waking up all the time angry?
Yeah.
Or irritated. It's not always anger.
Yeah.
Irritated, unhappy, blah, blah, blah. Well, I was living in the past.
Yeah.
It's no secret. I was drunk.
Yeah.
And for so many years, I woke up. My hangovers were, most people wouldn't consider them hangovers because I was a very good actress. I bluffed my way through. Plus, I gargled with Listerine. And I'll tell you what, the alcohol content in Listerine, when it hits those membranes in your mouth, danger.
Yeah.
Danger. I would like to see all alcohol removed from mouthwash. But anyway, that's a whole nother rampage. But I was living in a, I don't know, in a habit
Mhm.
in a mindset
Mhm.
of waking up meant unhappiness.
Ah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Um, and oh yeah, I had brought up doing your meditation, and
Yeah.
that's why I had brought it up. It was in that meditation. It was
Yeah.
about being anchored into something. And I realized
Yeah.
that I had buried
Yes.
happiness with an anchor because it makes other people uncomfortable.
Yes.
And granted, when I was drinking, I wasn't happy.
No. But you put on that happy face
I put
when
on
you
a
were
happy
outside of the
face.
house anyway. I'm sure your
Well,
husband would go, "Well,
he would
yeah."
beg to differ with that. But I know this to be true, that there is a part of me that drank because of unhappiness, because of, if I'm happy, someone else is uncomfortable.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Being being a young adult,
Uh-huh.
being, I mean, just there's just so many times throughout my life I can think of why I would think, okay, I'm not supposed to be happy because if I'm happy, everybody else is miserable. So,
However, the dichotomy is to hide the hangover, you would put on a happy face and bother people being too happy. Right? So there's that dichotomy
yes,
there that
yes,
just that convoluted thinking, as we typically say,
so convoluted
and that
because
comes totally from wounding. Totally from wounding.
if I'm going to bother them anyway, why not just truly be happy? But no,
Right.
no,
Yes.
because part of that started so young that I couldn't make heads or tails of it.
Right.
I couldn't understand it. And it just progressed as
Yes.
as I aged. Now, was that fact that my happiness made other people uncomfortable? Maybe not. Maybe
Right.
their uncomfortableness had nothing to do with my
Well,
happiness,
typically they're probably just unhappy people. Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Anyways, it's a
Yeah.
very convoluted
Well, isn't
thing.
all trauma, isn't all wounding is very convoluted. That's typically how you know. So that's typically how you know there's some wounding there when it
Yeah.
just doesn't make sense. How
Yes.
many times have all of us done something and then afterwards you're like, that doesn't even make sense. Why did I feel that way? Or why do I feel this way? Because I know this, but I'm feeling
Right?
this and I did this and none of it makes sense. It's like, that's called wounding. And we all
Yep.
have it. Yes.
Yeah.
And
And I am
actually,
so
oh, go
grateful
ahead.
to say that I woke up this morning. I had to actually set an alarm. I had to be up early this morning. But I woke up and I felt great. I wasn't resentful that I had to get up early.
Clarity.
I wasn't irritated with anything.
Nice.
Um, it was amazing. So
Clarity is brilliant, is wonderful.
clarity is brilliant. It is brilliant.
As you were talking, I was looking for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you can see it, but those of you who are listening on podcast, the backgrounds that we have right now are it's called the Blue City. It's in Morocco. And as Mari-Lyn was talking, I thought, wow, to walk through these streets every day, it is such a happy looking place. Like, seriously, as I'm looking at this background, wow. And then people put out flowers in different pots with different colors, but everything is painted a different shade of blue, the entire city. It's called the Blue City. Um, and I just thought, what a happy place to be. Um, anyway, I just thought of that. How beautiful would it be to be able to wake up and walk through this every day? I suppose, like everything, you'd get used to it and maybe not see it anymore. But we need to find happiness where we can. And if you're
I
present and walking through the Blue City, you are going to appreciate it.
What you just said, you might get used to it and you don't see it anymore.
Yes.
But when we're present, when
Oh,
we're in our bodies, when we're grounded and allowing spirit's energy to run through us, we
yes.
can see
Yes.
so much clearer.
Yes. See,
Things are
hear, smell, know, all of that. Mm-hmm. Yes.
see, when I say see in air quotes, right?
Yes.
Meaning all of it, all of our senses,
Yeah.
even our brain.
Yes.
There's so much clarity all the way around us. It's amazing.
Yes. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
So if you find yourself in an addiction of any kind, that could mean sugar, that could mean gossiping, that certainly alcohol or drugs, clearly. Driving fast. That just came.
Ooh.
Like being like speeding.
That was me. Used to be me.
Materialism, having to have certain things because you want it to appear a certain, whatever that is. That's all wounding and something for you to look at. You are not being present.
Yep.
If you are so friggin' worried about what someone else might say about what you're wearing, or you want to be able to walk through a room and have people look or say something, or you want to look better. Okay, here's a girl thing. I want to look better than so-and-so over there, Yeah, you are not living, you are living in your past. You are living in your wounding. And please take some time to consider what that means and how it was even created. How did you get to that place of, sure, sometimes we can look back and say, oh, my mom was so materialistic and I was raised in that. Absolutely. However, there's always more to it as well. There's always something else that is sort of weaved in there with your self-esteem, your worth, etc.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and try and really come forward. Start thinking more positively. Really get grounded and present. And what is it that you really want in your life? Because I guarantee you, you will never be happy with whatever it is that you are wishing for if you get there unhappy, if you get there unhealed. I mean, if you are unhealed, it will never be satisfying to you. Never.
Never.
Because you won't make it there in gratitude. You will not get there in gratitude.
No, you'll make it there in the same self-restricting,
Yes.
self-judging.
And it'll never be enough.
No, it won't.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
Whew. So, yikes.
Yeah.
Huh.
Stepping out of the past to move forward into the future.
Yes. To build that future, to create the future, to walk with spirit. The more we heal, the closer to spirit we get, the more real life gets, the more calm. I can tell you, this 3D life, the closer to spirit you get, the calmer your 3D life will be, because you cut out the drama and the imbalance. Either those things leave your life or you choose to walk away from them. But life really, when you're honestly walking with spirit, and it does also have to do partly with your age, I'm going to be honest. Some of that comes from just being older. The calmness, don't you think, Mari-Lyn? Like, because in your 20s, 30s, and even 40s, you're still working on all your shit. I mean, you work on it too in your 50s and 60s, but there's still so much life to be living. But even with that, you start working on your shit, you start seeing everything differently. You start seeing the world differently.
Yes.
You cut people out that need to go. people just automatically will leave. If you're not still going to sit there and gossip with them, they don't want to be around you. Or it's just like drinking. If you're not going to drink with me anymore, then I'm not going to call you on Friday nights to go out because you're not getting drunk with me. It's that same kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. I really don't know where
on the other side of the coin, if you're not going to stop drinking and spend time with me bowling sober, then I'm going to stop hanging out with you.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The calmness that comes with age comes with healing.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Because,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I don't want to be 62 and still, sorry.
No.
Still going through all this crap.
No. So let's see. I got a few months left. I got like, I don't know, 6 or 7 months left to get through this transition.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you're doing it. And even
I am.
After a certain amount of healing, even though you still have healing to do, that healing gets easier the more you've done. And I don't mean easier like, oh yeah, I have this little wound. Okay, I'm just going to think about it. Okay, gone. Not like that. The knowing how good you feel when you get through it, the understanding that your spiritual gifting that comes to you when you heal, the understanding that you're on this journey, all of that spiritual yumminess is so much more a part of the healing, which makes it so much easier. Like, yes, I'm lying here, I'm crying my eyes out because this hurts and pain, but I also know spirit is right there with me, supporting me through it, and it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And that's part of it that you don't always have.
Yeah, that I'm going to be okay knowledge.
Yes.
Yeah, that strengthens every time you go through healing something big. Each time that you just know.
What just came to me is when you're a teenager and it's that, you know, that first person that you like, that first boy or girl, whatever.
Oh, and it's the end of the world.
And it's they break up with you or whatever, and you absolutely cannot see that there is anyone else on the planet. No one. That was the only person.
Yep.
My life is over.
Yep.
I'm going to be an old spinster.
Yep.
I'm going to be like,
yep.
So think about that, and think about as you get older, how relationships come and go and how much easier they get each time. Do they still hurt? Yes. But there's an ease in which they happen because you have more knowledge, you have more wisdom, and you've been through it. So it makes it easier later. Remember also, as a teenager, you thought 30 was old. Yeah. Nope, 30's not old, people.
We're ancient.
Huh?
Well, I'm ancient.
Well,
You're approaching.
I'm close to you. Yes.
You're approaching.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's funny.
Oh my gosh.
Whew. Yeah. Well, I think this might be a good place to leave this.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Good.
So, wow, we appreciate everyone who tuned in today. We hope you got something for this or from this.
And from it too.
Yes.
We hope it was thought-provoking. We hope it was inspiring.
Yes, always. It was inspiring for me. Spirit brought some new stuff today. Some older things that I needed to hear again, and inspiration. It was really beautiful. And thank you, everyone, whoever you are that was, I want to explain that too, actually, before we go. So Mari-Lyn and I, this comes from Fred's teachings. Anyone who's been a student of mine knows that you do not ever read someone without their permission. That is a big ass no, no, no. You are infringing on the rights of someone else. It's none of your damn business. Yep. So you may ask, well, how is it that you're picking up on, you're not supposed to be reading people, but you have, I have no clue. Let me be really clear. No clue who it is that I'm picking up on. None.
Nope.
And the only reason it's coming is because Spirit allowed it to come for me to say something about it. So it's very Spirit led when that happened, sort of out of nowhere. And again, I have no clue who you are. So I'm not overreaching anyone's boundaries here.
No.
So
No, when we say somebody needs to hear this, could be somebody right next door to us.
yes.
Could be somebody
Yep.
in Egypt, could be
Yep.
somebody in
Yeah. The Blue City.
the Blue City, could be somebody in Germany, could be could
Who
be
knows?
anybody.
Yes. And we have no idea. We are not
Zero.
leaning in to find out anything about anyone. We don't do that. It's none of our damn business. It just isn't. And we really stand by that. Yes, those are those Fred rules that and that we follow. So anyway,
and, sometimes, at least for me, I'm sure it's the same for you. Sometimes I will kind of hear, okay, you have to say this because somebody needs to hear it. Other times I just know, I've learned the way the information is coming to me is because somebody needs to hear it.
Yes.
Yeah.
But either way, have no clue where that's coming from. None.
No.
So we're not breaking any rules here. No. If any of you would like to get to know us better, if you need a personal healing, if you have paranormal activity in your home, if you have questions or just would like to say something to us, go to tcseverydaypsychics.com. That's our website, and you can contact us through there.
Yes.
Along with our 2 YouTube channels, as I talked about those at the beginning. Please check out our meditations. Fred and I, we have meditations on I almost said the community spirit.
Woo! Talk about going back.
Yeah. When I started the business, it was the community spirit. That was the name that it was really my dad, who is in spirit, brought to me, and I still treasure that name. But it's TCS. And then the community spirit, when Mari-Lyn came on board with me, we knew that this was a lifetime partnership, and we changed it to the conscious spirit, also TCS. So anyway, wow. Yeah. The Conscious Spirit podcast.
Yes.
On YouTube has the meditations, and I encourage you to listen to them. Sometimes it takes sometimes people get Fred's meditations right away. It's not difficult, it's easy. Other times people need a few times doing them because they're so different than any other guided meditation you're going to go through. You're going to experience. Yeah. But
I feel so blessed. My very first experience with one of Fred's meditations with Pam, it was in person.
Yep.
And holy smokes,
I didn't think I'd see you again.
The trip, me telling what the meditation was, I'm sure somebody would have thought, oh my gosh, this girl was on drugs.
Yes.
Some wild ass mushrooms or some LSD or something.
Yes.
Nope. Stone cold sober in the heart of spirit. And it was
life
just exactly what I needed.
Yeah. And you were she was bawling, and I thought, I'm never going to see her again, because I can't tell you how many times people came in, first meditation, they were crying, something happened, I never saw them again. That happened a lot. They're not for the faint of heart, y'all.
No. And this was huge. Oh my gosh.
Yes. And it was in person, which we're always, there's a difference in that too. But yeah. And when I saw you again, I was like, wow, okay, she's ready. She is ready. So, all right, everyone. Thank you so very much. We
Thank you.
really do appreciate you a lot.
We are honored that you choose to listen to
Yes.
us. And
Yes. And some of you we do get donations once in a while because you appreciate our work, and we just want to say thank you. That's really kind.
absolutely.
Yes.
We are always so touched.
Yes, you're not wanting a healing, you're not wanting one of our paid services, but it calls you to donate to us. And we really are grateful. That's very, very kind of you. And I wanted to make sure. I think we talked about it earlier. We have to make sure to thank everyone, because sometimes we forget, and that doesn't mean we don't appreciate it, but we just, we've got a lot going on and we forget. So thank you so very much. Okay. See you next time.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.